pop culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 61 of Everything is Permitted here in the Zoomscape. I'm your captain and host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-hosts, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, and the Master of Puns, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm having a good day today.
That was the first time you guys were kind of in sync and said it at the same time. I'm proud.
Yeah.
It only took 61 episodes. I mean, Brittany wasn't in some of those, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the same mood at the same time. Who would have thought?
I love it. I love it.
It is a nice day out. At least.
It is, and here we are.
I feel like that's half of it.
Yeah, Cecily's out playing in the sprinkler outside, and I'm in here recording a podcast. And
the simple joys of being a kid, man. I miss that.
Dude, she was watching Earth Girls Are Easy. I don't know how appropriate it was for her, but she sat and watched the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Dude, like I said, like I wish I would have saw this as a child. Like I would have fucking loved this film. I would have asked for it all the time.
Yeah, just for like the dance scene alone. But we will get into it. That is our bargain bin movie that we will be talking about later. As I just said. So yeah, Raiders of the Bargain Bin makes its triumphant return with a patron-picked film. Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, Earth Girls Are Easy. I could tell by Matt's heavy breathing how excited he is for Bargain Bin to be back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Niki VZ, for the recommendation. We, I think, all enjoyed this film. We'll be getting into it a little bit later. And then we will also be doing a deep dive into the DC animated universe. Matt went on a buying binge a couple of weeks ago, and I think now owns every single DC animated universe film.
Pretty much, at least for the universe, and including one or two of the spin-offs that came out off of it. So there are 15 of them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that are specifically like this current timeline and continuum.
I've seen, I think, 3 of them, so I'm going to really play just the hosting gig for that segment and let you two go at it and talk about it, which I think will be fun. And let's get into some announcements, which we don't have a lot of this week. One piece of news. A new EIP VIP patron perk debuted last week, and that is same day access to our episode. So as soon as we're done recording this one, and I'm done editing it, it will be live on Patreon on the same day. So that is exclusively for EIP VIPs. We did it with episode 60 last week, and so that we got that going, and then also, we had to reschedule our Captain America the Winter Soldier watch along that was supposed to take place yesterday because of, quarantine issues and kids and occupying rooms and loud. I was going to record a audio commentary for the film. We're doing that this Wednesday instead and doing the watch along. So we'll have 2 watch alongs this coming week, Wednesday and Saturday. I think we're up to 2015 after Winter Soldier. So we have that. Also, this hasn't really been official yet, but, and I don't know if Brittany and Matt both saw the messages kind of strewn across in our Facebook chat. Things tend to get lost in there, but
I saw it real quick.
I saw it real quick. So
I gave it a thumb up.
Nice. A really cool announcement. Geeks with Kids and Everything is Permitted are bringing their minds together and going to be releasing a new podcast called A Strange New Pod. A Star Trek podcast from Everything is Permitted and Geeks with Kids, where we will be talking all things Star Trek Strange New Worlds when that show comes out. Now, the cool news about this, I was talking with Eric, and we decided that we're going to fast track this thing. We're going to start now. So that means we're going to have social media channels, we're going to have a logo, and we are going to do a preview episode in about a week about wants, expectations, cast, things like that. And as news comes out and rolls out, from now until 2021 and launch, we'll periodically do episodes of that podcast as news becomes available. So we're really excited about that. I told myself if they were going to do a Pike show, I was going to do a show on it. And here we are. We're going to be talking about that show a little bit later in Odds and Ends. But before we move any further, as we were talking about patron perks and everything, Brittany, how can people get access to those awesome perks?
Well, all they got to do is check out our cool little Patreon, And you have the option of being a $2 a month member or a $5 a month member. And then you have access to now same day access to our episodes as soon as they're done, as well as any bonus pods that aren't like just open to everybody to listen to. So it's usually the monthly bonus pods that are really cool. And lots of other cool doodads like stickers.
I saw Michael Cox put his "Everything is Permitted" sticker on his car today. I was really excited to see that.
Yeah, didn't he say now my Kia is permitted?
Yes, I loved it.
It was awesome.
I loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I need to get more so I could put one on my car. I put mine on my D&D minis like case.
Well, that's easy. I'll drop some off to you after we're done recording.
I'm just gonna like tag everything.
Light posts.
Oh, it's gonna be like Spaceballs. Like everything is permitted the lunchbox. Everything is permitted the flamethrower.
Can we get a flamethrower? Can we do that?
I think Sigourney Weaver did for Alien, so
I don't see why
yes.
we can't.
I want to say yes.
Yes.
If she can, we can.
Yes, yeah, we can get our hands on one somewhere.
Matt, make it happen. I'm sure there's one on base.
Yeah, I'm sure we have that laying around.
Hey, you never know, man.
It might be.
And then, Matt, how can people support our show if they don't or can't, do it with the cash money?
If you love us and can't afford to give us money, support us by giving us a 5-star rating, hopefully 5, anywhere you listen to Everything is Permitted, including Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or anywhere else.
Boom, shakalaka. Brittany, who we thanking this week?
We thanking Billy Peets, Heather Reppert, Kira Conkling, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Nikki Veazey, Matt Moore, Cabria Wimbush, and Rob Carter.
Carter.
Like last week.
I'm not gonna lie. One of these days we might have to see if we can pull some strings and get the Philadelphia Union announcer to do our thanks in his announcer voice.
Kevin Casey?
Yeah, Kevin
I'm on
Casey.
it. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, just send him the list and just be like, Kevin, could you like read these like you're announcing the game or something?
I'm going to make that happen. We'll have it on next week's show, guaranteed.
He
Promise.
can even say like number 1, Billy Peets. Number 2, Heather Reppert.
He's a fellow Evertonian, so we have that in common as well. So
you both like suffering then?
Yes, we both love suffering. No, I mean, Matt's totally right.
Damn.
Hey,
no, I know he is.
Hey,
but it's like,
hold on
shit.
though. At least soccer was back this weekend, baby.
That was wild.
Bundesliga. Both games
The
were not
Bundesliga.
close. Again, not a soccer podcast. Oh, real quick, gotta say one thing. Big congratulations, big mazel tov to a very close friend of our show, Mr. Brian Barish, on the birth of your guys' daughter. Congratulations. We love you. We miss you.
The Bearish baby.
The Barish baby is live.
I love it.
The shrine to the Barish baby. Congratulations, buddy. We love you. And yeah, just can't wait to meet her. Let's get into some rants and raves. Who's got something? Hit it.
Brittany can go first.
I definitely do. Okay, so I've ranted multiple times on this show about She-Ra and why everybody should watch it. The show just had its series finale, and it was epic. Like, this show from beginning to end was just fantastic. Like I've said before, I loved the original She-Ra and He-Man, but this show completely, like, it expanded upon everything from the original show and did it better. So it's one of those rare shows that actually is a reboot that's completely surpasses the original. It's amazing. I think every kid should watch it. I think every person should watch it. And the way it ended and what they were able to do is something that like is completely groundbreaking for cartoons nowadays. I'm not ashamed. I've been rewatching it all day. I was like, oh, we're recording at 1 today instead of noon. Gonna pop in the 5th season.
Brittany was probably so
yeah.
happy to get that notification. Shit, I got an extra hour. Boom. She-Ra.
Well, you don't know. I thought about it and I was like, should I shower or should I She-Ra?
A She-Ra shower?
Boy.
Put an iPad in
Anyway.
that bitch.
Watch She-Ra while
It's
you're
just
in the
really
shower.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm
parallels
glad.
in that shower are insane.
One day I'm going to watch that, but I first have to watch Avatar The Last Airbender because I've yet to watch it.
Yeah. I will say that She-Ra gives some nods to Avatar
There you go.
in a few things. Like some parallels are there. Certain, I can't even give it away. Damn it.
I'm
Okay,
out of
we're good.
coffee, and this is very
Certain
sad.
character motivations and arcs match others. That's all I'll
Nice.
say.
Matthew.
So 2 things. I'm going to rant about I know we shared the article from Polygon about Bungie's new thing for Destiny 2, where they're going to have where they're going to have power level caps to weapons and such like that, and that's their way to quote retire old weapons. So basically, long story short, you have like a power level system in Destiny 2 where, you know, I think the level cap is currently 1010, and basically what they're going to institute is the weapons will only be able to be leveled up to, like, say 1040 is the next season's power level cap. So the weapons will not be able to go past, say, 1010, 1040 or whatever. And that's how they're going to keep people from using old weapons. And I cannot tell you how much I hate this idea.
This is so fucking stupid and makes me like go back to the whole fucking article I wrote. I'm going to get real mad here about my love-hate relationship with this stupid fucking game and how like I really don't want to play right now. And I'm not playing right now. I'm at like season pass rank number 93 and I'm just sitting there because I haven't played since I got into Warzone, because a Call of Duty game is better than fucking Destiny right now. And that is saying something.
There's a lot of people that actually do not like this new thing they're doing, because it's like, I busted my ass to get all these weapons and stuff like that. And now you're going to basically tell me that, like, after a certain point, they're not going to be as powerful as the stuff that you're trying to put out. And it's like, God, they're trying to make you grind even more for the new weapons that come out.
I have a conspiracy theory. And I think it's a viable conspiracy theory. I think that Bungie is actively and maliciously attempting to kill Destiny, to get people to jump, and it probably won't work because people are not happy with Bungie right now, but to get them to jump on their new IP when it comes out, because they are working on a new IP.
Matter, I think, is its code.
Yeah. This is just like such horseshit. Like, they keep not listening to people. They say they are, and then they go in a complete opposite direction. And they're not only doing it with weapons, they're doing it with armor too. And people grind the shit out of getting the perfect set of armor and then masterworking it, which takes a lot of planetary materials to do. You end up picking the armor set that you want, and then you have to dump like all of your precious materials that some of them are not easy to get. And you're gonna send that to, you know, the barn to get shot in the head? Like, really? It's bullshit.
I feel like this is going to be something that they're going to stick with for a season or two. When I think the fall is when they're looking to roll this out, and I think they'll stick with it for a season or two, and then they'll realize how much people hate it, and I can see them rolling it back or being like, "Yeah, okay, we're not doing it as much as we said we would because of like how much people hate it." But all right, so now that I'll touch upon something else. I'll kind of
wait. Can I say one last thing about that?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The thought of powering up my PlayStation to play Destiny right now is actually like it hurts my body. Like it makes me want to cringe. But the fact that I have to this time, like I'm not gonna let my season rank stay at 93 when I'm 8 ranks away, from getting. Or 7 ranks? I don't know. I can't math.
7. It's 7.
Thank you.
7 goes to 100.
You know, like I can't not complete it being that close to it, but like I'm going to suffer doing so, and that's the last thing I'll say about it.
So, and
you know what suffering leads to. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh God. Anyway, so I'll just quickly rave about something. I did have fun with Julian and the rest of the gang from Geeks with Kids, as well as other people doing some Call of Duty multiplayer, even though I still am not a huge fan of Call of Duty's multiplayer.
Yeah, we had fun last night.
Yeah, we did some Capture the Flag team deathmatch. We didn't do Warzone because I had to hop off because I had to do something in Destiny.
You also don't like Warzone. Let's just put that out there.
I don't like it right now, but I'm willing to give it a shot and like keep playing it to see if it grows on me. But right now, I prefer the more hectic gameplay of team deathmatch and all that other stuff, just because as I said when you and I were playing it, I hate just like people just sit in a building staring at a door waiting for me to walk in and kill me instantly.
That's like, me every solo queue.
Well, and then basically like I get to sit there and watch my teammate play for 10 minutes, and I don't do Twitch, I don't do YouTube, I don't do any of that watching other people play game stuff because I'm a curmudgeon-y old asshole.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have a rave, and it's actually a continuation of a rant from last week, but it's now a rave. So
Ooh.
in the saga of my getting a hold of my Ahsoka Tano Hot Topic exclusive Funko Pop, sorry, my daughter just ran by the house naked. Quarantine recording, baby. So if you guys remember, I bitched about people like price gouging and wanting to charge like $125, $150 for this Funko Pop. And I kept on sending people offers to try and talk them down. And one guy was selling it for $99. And I sent him an offer for $75. I was like, $75 is my cap. Like, I'm not going above $75. And like, I think he sat on it for a day. And I woke up in the morning to a message like, hey man, I just accepted your offer. So I got my Ahsoka Pop for $75.
Nice.
And the guy was super nice, and it got here super quick, and here she is in all her glory.
Nice.
And he didn't have to spend a Tano money. I love her though. She's worth every penny.
Shut up, Wesley.
He's trying to shame you, but he didn't have it ready.
I did not have it ready. I had
Yeah.
Ahsoka in my hands.
Yeah,
There
he
she
had to
is.
be gentle.
And I also, the guy who sent that to me is probably not happy I took it out of the box, but he'll never know. So I'm not one of those people. The only Funko that I own that is still in the box and will not be removed from the box is Gritty.
My Gritty Funko that Heather
love
bought
Gritty.
is up on my shelf next to Ruth Bader Ginsburg Funko. So
There you go. Yeah, mine is in my, what's up?
Ruth Bader Gritzberg.
Oh, bam. I like it.
If he dresses up as
Could
her
we
for Halloween,
we
I don't
make
know.
a Muppet out of RBG and make her like a Gritty hybrid? Is
Gritty?
that a thing? Yeah.
I mean, anyone in Philly, like, this is just how we are. So
Yep.
there's no doubt somebody will do that from where we are.
Do not fuck with our murder puppet.
I love Gritty.
Yep.
oh, Gritty
And the
is
charges
life.
were dropped, by the way. For
Yeah,
anybody
by
who's
the way.
listening and didn't
By
follow.
the way,
We knew Gritty didn't do it. There was proof he didn't do it.
those
Even if
people.
Gritty did it, I would understand.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck petty
Talk shit,
13-year-olds.
get grit.
Oh man.
The last thing I'll say about Funko Pops is now I am also slowly building up a collection of helmeted Mandalorians. I have
His army is almost complete.
I have Sabine. I have I forget her name already. The armorer. The
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 armor
armor?
woman from
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. Yeah.
yep. I have
I just call her the armorer.
I have
Yeah.
the Mandalorian himself, and then I have two background Mandalorians from the show, including minigun Mandalorian who salutes him at the end and says, "This is the way." I think they're releasing a Black Series figure of him too, and I'm going to be getting my hands
Oh,
on
the
that.
Black Series is so good.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, Julian. Now you can have all your helmets together along with the Knights of Ren, and they can all be helmeted.
Well,
together.
the Knights of Ren are going to be getting removed from that part of
that
the
place of honor.
that place
Oh
of
no,
honor.
did they fall from grace?
Well, they're getting
That
they're-
last film?
I put them up after my complaints about the film, but they're going to make way for Mandalorians very soon when I have enough to put up there in a complete set.
The Siege of Mandalore is now complete.
Indeed.
They've taken it back.
Dude, there's a guy also on eBay selling a set of 3 different malls, and I'm like,
I love it.
yeah. All right, guys, if that is everything, let's get to
The permitted minute.
The permitted minute.
the permitted minute. I'm back.
Oh my God! If we could do Kevin Casey to do say permitted minute, that would also be epic.
Oh,
You mean
dude.
Kevin Conroy?
No, he meant Kevin
Or,
Casey.
oh, yeah, you did. Never mind.
Yep. I was about
I was
to.
thinking,
Oh my!
Actually-
I'm just thinking of how epic that would be. Oh my God!
While we're talking about Kevin Conroy, though,
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. And remember, you're listening to Everything is Permitted.
yeah,
There's a
baby.
little laugh at the end.
I love that little laugh at the end. All right, guys, it is the permitted minute, and we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gata, start the clock.
It's time to boldly go. Once again, CBS has greenlit the much-asked-for Pike Enterprise series, Strange New Worlds. Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, and Rebecca Romaine will all reprise their roles.
We got to see some awesome new gameplay footage from Ghosts of Tsushima, which shows off the vast open world and even some fox petting.
Superman and Lois is officially on the way, debuting on the CW in January 2021. Please don't fuck this up.
Add a Percy Jackson series to the list of all the things coming to Disney Plus that we have yet to see.
The final season of the long-running show Supernatural will resume its conclusion this fall.
In awesome news that keeps making the second season of The Mandalorian better and better, Katie Sackhoff will bring her animated character Bo-Katan to life when the show comes back this fall. And finally, Sony showed off the power of the PS5 this week, showing the Unreal 5 engine in action on the console.
Ooh, just did it with 4 seconds left.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I will make a prediction though for Mandalorian season 2 because a coworker and I were discussing Katie Sackhoff, and I'm like, and my prediction is it might be a flashback when you see her die when she loses the Darksaber.
Yeah, I'm thinking that even anything having to do with Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, and the rumor, now take this rumor with a grain of salt, but the rumor is that WWE superstar Sasha Banks is playing Sabine alongside Ahsoka. Which I think actually would be really good casting. I just don't know about Sasha Banks' acting skills. Like, her character is great in WWE, but I just, like, she hasn't done a role yet. So I just don't know whether to be excited or not. But I agree, Matt. I think it's all going to be flashback showing the purge of Mandalore. So,
yeah.
Unless Ahsoka's...
I can dig it.
Ahsoka, I could see being, like, a character, like, she shows up in an episode and, blah, 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 blah. But the Bo-Katan, I legit think that that's going to be a flashback to her death. Like, you'll see, she'll have the Darksaber and all that, and it'll be Moff Gideon just, like, completely wrecking her.
I hope she doesn't fucking die, dude. I love her, and I love Katie Sackhoff. Bo-Katan. So, before Star Wars Destiny, the card game, died, like, I was trying so hard to figure out a way to build a good Bo-Katan deck, and I couldn't. Like, there just wasn't a good deck where you could, like, put her with other Mandalorians. I love this character. I love everything about Mandalore. I would love to see those flashbacks. End of Moff Gideon. I'm so excited for. Dude, I was watching the documentary series, the first part, and I had no idea that they actually made a Darksaber prop. That wasn't CGI. I was just like, oh my god, this is amazing.
It's amazing.
Oh man, it looked really good.
Well, I'm also a fan of all the Mando lore, as you know. Lore is one of my favorite things.
No, it's not.
That's gonna be on my gravestone, just like something lore.
Something
talking
yeah.
about the lore.
Yeah. We obviously made that big announcement near the top of the show. A Strange New Pod will be our new podcast along with our friends from Geeks with Kids coming in 2021, and before that with our preview episode. But we are going to briefly talk the big announcement of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, CBS All Access, Anson Mount reprising his role as Captain Pike, which was just brilliant in Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Are you guys excited?
I'm excited for any Star Wars show. Darn it, I'm just sorry. Star Trek shows.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, even though I still haven't finished Discovery Season 1 and haven't watched Discovery Season 2, obviously. But I'm interested because from what they've apparently said is that it's going to be more episodic, which thank you God, please. Mm-hmm. While some of these season-long story arcs are decent or good in theory, I'm looking forward to having like self-contained episodes that for the most part don't influence each other, which is what Star Trek did. So
yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool as well. I feel like they can't name it Strange New Worlds without them doing like a more Planet of the Week type show like Star Trek's known for. Yeah. So that has me pretty excited. If you were making this show, like what would you want to see from this? Because we know it's going to be those kind of like that trio, kind of like Kirk, Bones, and Spock, and this time we're going to have Pike, Spock, number one. What do you want to see from this series?
So I'll go first. What I want to see out of this is move away from the action heavy oriented episodes, which action is fine, especially the modern action, with all the lasers and the phasers and blah, blah, blah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. Like that's all fine, but give me like the character heavy episodes where the action is literally just the characters interacting, where I'm on the edge of my seat just going, oh my God, like what's going to happen next? And we talked about it when we discussed Star Trek Picard a while back. Like one of the best Picard moments is literally him just staring down a Romulan commander, basically saying like, we're all going to die together if you want. Like,
Yeah.
and that's like that kind of awesomeness is missing from modern Star Trek, and they need to bring that back.
And that's why Matt and Brittany, I'll get to you in a second. I'm sorry, Matt. That's why I think you'll really like season 2 of Discovery, because Pike very much brings that to the show, and Anson Mount, his portrayal of him. So I'm curious once you get to that. Brittany, how about you?
The whole concept of Strange New Worlds, I'm really excited to see new cultures, hopefully, that they're introducing in, or new planets we haven't seen before, like in any Star Trek. But I'm also excited for them to revisit some like good oldies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the cultural aspect of Star Trek, and like the whole idea of like humanity and seeing these other civilizations and working with them or helping them solve problems. So I feel like it could be cool if they just do an exploration more so than the recent tensions we've been seeing a lot.
Yeah, someone tweeted out as soon as the announcement was made that because it's called Strange New Worlds, this show does not need to be a universe-saving show. You don't need to worry about that. Let other shows, or, you know, let what's come before it, you know, deal with that. Let this go back to what made Star Trek great, and meeting new races, and maybe, you know, coming across some old ones. One thing I would love to see them continue from Discovery is Mary Chieffo coming back as now, Matt, I'm sorry, do you mind if I spoil one thing for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
As Supreme Chancellor L'Rell, because that whole storyline is still going on, and, you know, obviously the Klingons are an integral part of every single Star Trek series. So I would like to see that. Here's a big question, because obviously, like, I have in my mind how I think this series should end. I don't care how it begins. I'm just excited for it. But I think this show should end with them casting a young James T. Kirk and Pike giving him the keys to the Enterprise. Now, I don't know how this works in the military or in Star Trek military, but like, I imagine that, you know, a new captain doesn't just say, okay, I'm replacing your entire crew with mine. Would you guys want to see Strange New Worlds slowly bring on the TOS crew?
I mean, the problem is that if you're looking to transition Strange New Worlds into Star Trek, you're potentially looking at, let's say you cast like a guy to play young Sulu, for example. So and depending on how long Strange New Worlds like goes on for, you potentially have the issue where the person playing Sulu is like a few years older or looks older than the guy who plays Kirk. So I mean, they could hand wave it plot wise and say, hey, you know, your crew has been out there doing stuff. We want to rotate them out and give new people a chance to kind of go out into the galaxy and explore Strange New Worlds.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
Yeah, they could do it like that, I feel.
Yeah, I think they could do it either way, whether they could end the show with potentially giving over the reins to Kirk and then he gets his own crew slowly, or it just cuts off there and then it just leaves it open-ended so that way it ties into the other series, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, and I'm not saying it should be like, you know, a new season, a new series with then like doing it with Kirk again. Like definitely
like it just ties into the original.
This should literally be, you know, Pike gives him the keys and then it goes into where no man has gone before. And that's it. Yeah.
Surprise, it's William Shatner.
Yeah, right. De-aged William Shatner.
Yeah, they de-age him. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
I do think it's cool that you're trying to mic the Pike before everybody else gets on it, though.
It needed to happen, man. It needed to happen. I didn't, and I'm going to give them a shout out. I didn't want to step on any toes with Star Trek Discovery Pod because they're our friends and we love them, but it was always my intention to do this if this series came about. I've been wanting to do a Star Trek show for a long time, and this is the time to do it. So we're excited. I know Eric is excited as well. We're going to have a lot more info on this, as we get it. It's a weird time right now. I'm sure production meetings are slow because of COVID, but we'll get there. It's exciting news. Anybody have anything else to touch on Strange New Worlds before we move on?
No.
Not until we know more.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So as Captain Pike would say, let's hit it. Matthew, it's your favorite time of the month. And that is the return of...
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
I don't know what I was thinking when I came up with this idea.
It's incredible. Honestly, it's the best thing I've ever thought of.
Oh God.
It's the reason I got to see this movie at all.
Exactly. Matt, tell us what we're doing. What time is it?
It is time for the Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
It is indeed time for Raiders of the Bargain Bin. Now, obviously, guys, we can't go to the bargain bins right now. I mean, you can, but we're not risking that Walmart shit. Just not doing it. So we asked our patrons for a movie suggestion, and our patron Nikki Veazey said, how about Earth Girls Are Easy with Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, and Gina Davis? And we said, why the hell not? Now, I think I maybe saw this like years and years ago, so it didn't really count as us seeing. I don't think either of you saw it.
No, never saw
No,
it.
definitely not.
So here we are. I was not expecting this to be the movie that it was. Let's get right into it. The Rotten Tomatoes score. This shocks me. The critic score was a whopping 67%, while the audience score was a measly 42%. I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
I think the critics got it.
The critics got it, yes.
The critics got that the movie knew what it was. The audience did not. To be fair, it's probably also the weird ass musical numbers that just pop up out of nowhere.
You mean
And then
the
they're just
best
like, what am I
parts of the
watching?
movie?
Yes.
I'm gonna get into my favorite part of this entire movie when we discuss the musical parts of it.
Matt, you know
Okay,
what?
wait.
I had Brittany here first, but you beat her to it. So why don't you just say it? What is your favorite part of the movie?
I'm not going to lie to you. I loved the song "Cause I'm a Blonde."
Yes.
I freaking loved that song, just because like it had like such like it was so self-aware of itself. And the part when she's like, I'm a 4th-year freshman at UCLA. I'm going to be a veterinarian because I love children. And I'm just like, oh my God, this song is amazing. As soon as
As
she
a blonde,
said that,
I wasn't even mad.
yeah, because the song relies on that whole like dumb blonde stereotype stuff. But as I said, it was so self-aware in the way that it did, because she's like, oh, I did a casting thing. And my line read was, what was
Don't
it?
tell me. Don't tell me.
Like, yeah, I loved that freaking song, and that song alone like kind of tells you what kind of movie this is going into it. So that's kind of my opening remarks about it.
How about
Dude,
you,
it's definitely a
Brittany?
cult film.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I literally took notes while watching it. It's just bullet points, but I will read to you the first thing I put down. I wrote in all caps immediately, WTF, exclamation point. But I would totally be in this film. So I knew immediately, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I would totally be in this film if they remade it now. I thought the opening animation was really cool.
Yes.
It was so bad. It was good. Like,
But like the opening scene was bad and weird. And they were like doing their weird alien language. And I was like, I'm uncomfortable. But then the animation was like, whoosh, and like somebody put effort into that. That was awesome.
I actually looked away from the credits for a moment, so I didn't see some of the actors until the movie started, and I'm like, who are these people? I know Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis are in this. So I pulled up the Wikipedia page and I was like, what the fuck? Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans? I'm like, what is happening in this movie? This movie has like a ton of talent in it that totally caught me off guard.
I think they totally wanted to do a fun, weird film. You could tell they looked like they had a blast doing it.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you. Like, the one thing I knew I was going to say to start for me was, God damn, I love the 80s. This movie was literally an advertisement for the 1980s and like the dance culture and probably a little bit of the drug culture. Like, we're not kidding ourselves. I think Gina Davis's friend in the character like pops some kind of drug in her Diet Coke or something at some point.
Maybe.
I don't know, but like
her friend was like classic Valley Girl, like stereotypical Valley Girl.
100%, like almost right out of Clueless too, like Alicia Silverstone's character. Yeah. My favorite scene in this movie was the Damon Wayans dance off.
Dude, I love that part.
Like, it was so fucking good, and it had no reason to be that good, and it was just fantastic. Now, here's where I'm gonna get
Wanna dance with a zero?
and like the moves he did with the hat, I'm like, I wish I was that cool.
Right.
The one thing that I'm going to say is like maybe a little bit cringeworthy, and I think was just kind of unfortunately a product of the times. It's, of course, like Damon Wayans kind of ends up being like the token stereotypical black dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's pair him with the one black chick at the bar. Let's have him be the one with the gun when they stick up the Quickie Mart.
Yeah, let's have him do a dance off with the only other black guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh man. But it was
Or even when they buzz the hair off. She says, like, he quote, you know how they do that mimicking thing when they hear something? She goes, "Oh my God, you're totally black."
Yeah.
Like, he quotes her, and I'm just like, oh God.
Yep. So unfortunately, it's a little bit of a product of its time. But I mean, like, listen, it didn't ruin the movie or anything for me. I think people know that it was a different time back then. It was still a ton of fun. Let's talk about Jeff Goldblum, guys. Matt, I know he's your favorite actor ever.
Sex symbol Jeff Goldblum.
Damn right.
Oh God.
Life finds a way.
Those Jurassic pecs.
Ooh,
They
yes.
were popping. They were popping in this film.
I will. All right. You know what? Before we start talking about Jeff Goldblum's lusciousness, I will say Gina Davis in a bikini made me feel things for a while in this movie.
It
For
made
like
me
the
feel
first,
things.
like for the first, like, or not the first, but like for like the 10 to 15 minutes, Gina Davis is running around in a bikini. I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. And I love Gina Davis, like she, and as an actress,
Yeah,
like,
I love
loved
her
her in
too.
Beetlejuice and all that stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna get that out of the way. And
That's why when I messaged you guys when I was watching it, I was just like, I'm so glad I didn't see this movie as a kid. I would not have survived.
Listen, I'm gonna go with Matt here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this movie may be like total camp and total cheese, but like, it's also a little sexy. Like, dude, Gina Davis is, you know, like, she was hot back then, and like this was definitely they pushed the limit with what they can show without showing nudity in this film, and I thought that was impressive as well. And listen, if we're getting down to it, like Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, like, going at it, like that's like some sexy on
The
screen
sex
time.
scene was hilarious.
Yeah, dude, like the lighting
It's
and
like
like
a weird montage.
the face paint, and I was like, this is oddly kind of hot. I'm into
movie was
this, but I
everything
shouldn't be.
Velocipaster wanted to be.
Yes, exactly.
Even down to the sex scene. I feel like they watch this movie and they're like, we can pull off that montage. Nope.
Nope. Okay, so actually, I do want to talk about that. Right? Do you think like the people who made Velocipaster watched Earth Girls Are Easy and are like, ooh, let's take a little bit of that and put that in our film? Because I was thinking about Velocipaster a little bit watching this. Like, there are certain parts of it.
I think people that purposely make like films they want to be cult or like super campy definitely watch other films that are cult and campy and pull little references out.
There are times like when watching this movie and then watching any like kind of low budget movie where I kind of can almost like see the sausage being made behind the scenes, like the sex scene, for example, when there's like little gems being dropped on them. I just picture somebody overhead just going, just like sprinkling gems on them and stuff. I just picture the director just going like, all right, Rich, go ahead and start dropping the gems on the two of them as they're laying in the bed.
Oh my God. So I wasn't prepared for the musical numbers, and every time it happened, I wrote, "Holy shit, is this a musical? No fucking way!" And then the next line said, "What the hell is actually happening?" Then the next line after that says, "It's another musical number. I'm cracking the fuck up right now. This is amazing. She's destroying all his shit because he cheated on her."
The bowling ball into the computer
God.
with the prenup. That was
amazing.
Yeah, loved it. I also love that, like, all of like the montages with her, like when she was in high school and like making him drop the football and like dropping the grill into the swimming pool. Can we also talk about the fact that the aliens were little people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they get bigger.
and they get bigger to fit into their ship. I don't know. Like,
I'm glad they did that because when they first landed in the pool, I was like, "There's no way they're the same height as her."
For a moment, I was like, are they going to be like tiny the entire movie? Because that's going to make this really weird.
Yeah. That's some like weird fetish stuff at that point.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to get into that.
No, we're skipping it. We're skipping it.
Nope.
Just think happy thoughts. Think Gina Davis in a bikini. We're good.
I can do that. I
literally wrote "oof" next to her name at one point.
And like oof, like a sexy way, or oof in a
like all caps. I wrote, "I'm glad I didn't see this as a kid. I would have loved it." ... Also Gina Davis. Oof! !
Oh my god.
I literally watched this like Thursday or Friday night. Oh god. Just alone in the dark eating ice cream, and it was like the greatest experience of my life.
I think as we do more movie reviews, I'm slowly like figuring out who Brittany's type is.
Good luck, bro.
I don't know, but Gina Davis, oof, I guess is maybe a good clue. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, I've liked her in all her roles.
Yeah.
So.
What was that movie with her and Sam Jackson?
I think she did a character in She-Ra.
Oh, did
Fun
she?
fact.
Nice.
Yeah, she voiced a character.
Wasn't Gina Davis a voice in Gargoyles too, or am I mixing that up? I thought she did a cartoon
I don't
voice.
think so.
No.
She's probably done other cartoons.
Yeah. Let's talk about Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Because what I loved about this movie, it was like, this was such an early Jim Carrey, but like, it was still like, this was Jim Carrey coming up with Jim Carrey, like with his mannerisms and his weird ass form of comedy.
It was like peak Jim Carrey before people even knew who he was, I think.
So,
God.
Jim Carrey, honestly, I would say that the movie which kind of launched his career, I want to say is Once Bitten, because I remember seeing that way back in the day. Yeah, that came out in 85, and Earth Girls Are Easy came out in 89. But Jim Carrey, like, obviously, like, his rise to stardom really began with In Living Color, which I think was 2 years after this movie. And Jim Carrey to me was like the Robin Williams of this movie, just his like manic energy and all that fun, and like just the weird crap he was doing. Most of the time, obviously, they're all weird, but
yeah.
I love all their names: Mac, Zebo, and Whiplock.
Yeah.
Whiplock, want a lip lock? Dude, the makeovers though.
Oh, that scene.
At first I was a little like, these aliens are kind of creepy, but then when they did the makeovers and then they just like had this really
with their
cool
cod pieces
afterwards. Sorry. Oh god. Anyway, I love the friendship they eventually develop with Gina Davis's character, whose name I forget, but I don't know. I just want to point that out.
Gina Davis is Valerie Gale.
Valerie, there we go. From the Valley. God damn it.
Valerie.
It's Valerie from the Valley.
Her friend was Candy Pink.
Yep. Oh.
And Michael McKean was in this. Like, what the hell? Like, that still blows my mind. The Michael McKean, who is like, I know Michael McKean. He's been in a bunch of stuff, and like the most recent thing he was in was Better Call Saul, where he played like the older brother of Bob Odenkirk's character. And obviously he's like a very serious character, and like he's like some pool dude in this, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. I was like, oh, it's that guy. But he was such a weird character.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys want to go to the beach? Gonna ride some gnarly waves.
And then the dude actually has no idea how to surf.
They don't even get to the beach.
What should I do if Drake wax your board?
I use sex wax on my board. Oh man. But the makeover scene, like I wasn't expecting them to just be completely hairless and like looking like normal humans. Like that completely gave me whiplash. I was like, oh my god.
Do they grow their fur back, do you think?
I remember that all they said was like she was like, I think they've been in space like a really long time, and that's why they grew so much hair. And they look like other creatures. I'm pretty sure the girl that played Candy like wrote this.
Yeah.
Like I think in the credits, yeah. Oh my god. Thank you, Candy actress.
She did. Julie Brown is her name.
She did all the songs.
She did help. Yeah. It was her, some Charlie Coffey, and Terrence McNally, I guess, were the three writers. So
yeah,
I'm looking at the wiki page for it.
It's really amazing. Oh, how did you guys feel about the black and white? Like, you remember
the
they,
weird
like,
montage with the robot from Forbidden Planet?
Dude, there were so many references in that, like in that scene, and then she's even like watching the TV, and then it becomes like the French version of Beauty and the Beast, the black and white one, and she's like, "Oh my god, I just fucked a creature!" Like that's literally what was going through her mind. She was like, "Oh god, is this bestiality? Oh god."
Okay. That's actually like
incredible.
That one scene kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because like nothing comes of it, you know. Too, it's like she doesn't like all of a sudden be like, "Oh man, I fucked an alien." Oh, what are the repercussions? She just goes back to being like googly eyed over him again.
I think it was just like her mind, her subconscious,
right,
panicking.
I also want to point out that for some reason, and I have not figured out why, in the beginning when Gina Davis is getting that makeover for her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he was, like they tear off her hair and there's like nipples on the towel, like when they tear on. I was like, what is happening? What is
Dude, that
this?
whole musical number was like weirdly Grease-like.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I was just like, what is going on? That was the first one when I wrote, what? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, how about when they crashed into Randy's Donuts? Like, how much more Californian could this movie have gotten?
The amount of
and the
movies
cops made the cops gay.
they totally did.
I like totally okay. Remember how I said I was eating ice cream while I watched this movie? I took maybe like 3 spoonfuls of my ice cream, right? Totally forgot about my ice cream because of how weird this movie was. And at the end, I looked down and it was just fucking soup. Like, oh my God, it was incredible.
Did you watch it with your family or did you watch it in your room?
I watched it alone in my living room.
Oh, yeah,
in the
that's
dark
right. You
with
said
ice
that.
cream. Yeah.
No one wanted to watch
Only
this with you?
because, my brother and his girlfriend were having a date
Oh,
night,
date
so
night,
they were
that's
watching
right.
a movie in their room because they're trying to, keep things normal. My dad was up the mountains, and my mom, I think, was watching some British crime show in her room.
Ooh, I wonder if it was the one with David Tennant and Olivia Colman. Broadchurch? No.
I think she's already seen that one.
Yeah,
She goes
maybe-
through a lot. I had to get her BritBox, like, streaming
Maybe it's
service.
the show where the English priest solves murders or something. Father, whatever.
Father Brown?
Yes.
Father Brown. I know, because my mom watches all these shows.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't regret a single thing about this movie.
I had zero expectations going into this
Same.
film. And like, I would seriously, well, okay. So let's just go into it. Let's go to the bargain bin meter score. And we started with Matt at the beginning. So Brittany,
Yeah, go Brittany.
your bargain bin meter score for Earth Girls Are Easy.
The ranking I gave this, I think I might have made up on my own, but I called it Blockbuster. Because this is
Yes.
a film I would have gotten from Blockbuster, either as a child or as a young adult, whatever, before they closed and there's only one left. I gave it, I guess, in normal ratings, like a 4 out of 5 because it was weirdly entertaining. And I would definitely watch this again, especially with someone who hasn't seen it,
Yes. just
just to see them freak out.
Yeah.
I think my dad walked in the room like once or twice before he left. And he was just like, "Oh, I remember this movie. It's a really weird one." And I was just like,
Don't spoil it.
How about
Yeah.
you, Matt?
I'm trying to think of all of our ratings here and what I might want to give it. So it's obvious it's way better than what we've watched on Raiders of the Bargain Bin. So
I was pleasantly surprised.
what's all of our thresholds again now? Because it's been so long since I've had to give a rating.
Robin Hood and Cats and Velocipaster are like lower tier.
Yeah, I know that.
So we had, I think like the worst is yard sale.
It's like garage sale,
Yeah.
yard sale is the
And the
worst.
best
full
is
price
I
full
thought it was
price.
Garbage Bin Denny's, right? Garbage Bin Denny's.
Oh, your brother came up with that new one. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, for Velocipaster, that's
Yep.
what it was. Garbage Bin Denny's.
And then the best is full price, followed by Best Buy, then Target, then Walmart, then Dollar Tree, and so on and so forth.
So I actually will probably say Target because like Brittany said, like and also as Julian said, I went into this movie with zero expectations. It's not like I looked at the cover and was like, what is this? So it, because it's free to watch on YouTube. That's how I watch it. The entire movie is on YouTube.
I spent $3.99 on Prime to watch this, and I don't regret it.
I also use Prime, and I thought about buying it after watching it.
Yeah, I would give it Target. It's definitely above average. I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but it's definitely something worth watching. And as I said, just for me alone, like I would I actually was watching the video part for "'Cause I'm a Blonde" again, just because I'm like, this is so damn catchy.
Nice.
So it's so damn fun.
Brittany and I must have been on the same page with the way we wanted to rate this film, because there was a great meme going around Facebook for the past few days about like, the 90s and these were obviously in the 80s too. I'm giving this Sam Goody because I used to go to Sam Goody a lot, and Sam Goody, like a lot of these good stores, had like their own bargain bin, like the discounted movies. And if I was to go into a Sam Goody today and I saw this in there, I would totally buy it and put it in my like DVD rack that doesn't get shown to like the public.
Dude, I know what you mean, right?
Yeah.
In
Like,
the
I would
side
never-
room, nobody sees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like this wouldn't be like Blu-ray top of my shelf. This is like bottom shelf. Like I'm gonna cover it with something else, but like it's
but still
totally there
proud
when
to
I
own
need
it.
Oh man.
So yeah, Sam
I'm so glad
Goody.
we all felt the same way.
If we had to translate Sam Goody to current times, I would just say FYE, because FYE has like the same exact, and they're trying so hard to be Sam Goody and not doing a good job of it. So this was Earth Girls Are Easy. This was one of the most fun bargain bin movies we've watched. Sometimes we get movies like Velocipaster, and sometimes we get movies like Earth Girls Are Easy, and this was a fun one. It is rejuvenated my love for Raiders of the Bargain Bin, because Velocipaster really hurt my soul.
Dude, same. I didn't know if I could love again. And then Earth Girls Are Easy showed me the way.
And then Gina Davis arrived.
Gina Davis in her bikini, yeah.
I mean, I did want her to be clothed again eventually. I was just like, oh, she's got to be cold.
I mean, it's California.
We know she was cold. We know she was cold.
Yes, we know she was cold.
Oh, God.
I didn't even say it this time.
I'm going to leave now.
Oh, man.
Gina, if you're out there, don't call me.
I don't. Do you want? I guess MILF Gina Davis now. Is she still?
I mean, she's cool.
Yeah, she is cool.
Jesus God.
Oh my God. Okay, let's.
I'll give her a shout out. I'll tweet her and be like, "You were amazing in Earth Girls Are Easy."
Oh
Thelma
my
and
God.
Louise, who?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Okay.
God. My heart hurts.
The Long Kiss Goodnight. Take that, ladies and gentlemen. Great film. All right, guys, let's move on to our other segment of the show. And Matt, this has been something that you've been wanting to talk about since you've purchased all of these films. We've talked about it on the show, how the DC animated universe is a much better product than the DC cinematic universe. I'm kind of going to let you go right into it. Give us a background and a brief history on the DC animated universe, where it started and where it is now in its current iteration.
Okay, so the DC animated universe, it's one of those things where people might not know about it because DC kind of behind the scenes has been making animated, basically direct-to-video movies for years now. And I could actually make the argument that DC started the whole universe concept because I actually said that they had a animated universe with their shows, Batman and Superman, and then Justice League and all that fun stuff back in the 90s up until the early 2000s. But this animated movie universe that they've done, it started in 2013 with the release of Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox, which obviously is basically the comic book crossover Flashpoint, where essentially the Flash tries to go back and prevent his mom from dying, and basically by doing so creates these ripples that essentially wreck the entire DC universe. Everything from Bruce Wayne being the one who dies in the alley that night and his father becomes Batman and so on and so forth.
And a really shitty version of Batman, like a murderous gun-toting.
Yeah. But that's the first movie. That's Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. And then basically at the end of that movie, everything kind of gets reset, but that kind of gives DC the license to say, all right, now we've rebooted the characters, so now we're going to do some new stuff. And then, so as of right now, there are 15 movies, I believe it is, in the DC animated movie universe that started in 2013 with Flashpoint Paradox, and it has just ended with the release of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. And the physical release comes out this Tuesday. You can already buy it on streaming services. A coworker of mine has already watched it. I have not. I've watched all of the movies up until Batman Hush, and I unfortunately wasn't able to watch it yet. But Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, and so I'm only like, I have like 3 or 4 movies to finish the animated universe. But I will tell you, if you're a fan of comic books, if you like the Marvel movies and stuff like that, I'm not going to say they're as epic in terms of their action and stuff like that, because you're talking like movies that are like an hour, maybe a little over an hour tops for the most part, but they're still so good. They're so good. The stories, the voice acting, the animation, even the little spin-offs and stuff like that, which I'll touch upon a little bit later probably. But the DC animated movie universe is a great watch, and you can binge pretty much almost the entire thing in like a couple days, which is basically what I did. So yeah, that's kind of my lead into it, and I'm really excited to see how they end it.
I just want to add that there are DC animated universe movies before 2013.
Yes.
So back to like 2007 with Doomsday is when it technically started,
Mhm.
and there's been a bunch of DC films before that weren't part of it.
Yeah.
But the reason we're pointing out 2013 and onward is because Apocalypse War is supposedly the end to that storyline and story arc. So I just want to let the audience know in case they're like, well, there was films that came out before.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
So there's a ton of films since 2007 that have been made.
Yep.
So I admittedly, as I mentioned at the top of the show, am not as well versed in the DC animated universe as you guys. I've seen the Justice League movie that I think was kind of like a parallel to the New 52 Justice League. That might have been something with Apocalypse or Darkseid.
Justice League War?
Maybe. I'm not
Or,
entirely sure. It wasn't like. Listen, I don't think it was very good. And then I've seen the Flashpoint one, which I did think was very good. And then I know there's one. Oh, and I watched Under the Red Hood, which was very good as well.
That was the pre-universe movie.
Okay, so that was pre. Okay,
yes.
So
I still wrote it down.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it counts as the DC animated universe, but all the Frank Miller adaptations that were animated.
Oh, like The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns is definitely part of it.
Listen, like I'm not a huge fan of the Frank Miller animation style of Batman. I'm not a huge fan of those stories, but I wanted to see what they were like, put into animation, and I wasn't a huge fan. But some of these are very, very good, and especially some of the Batman ones that I've seen commercials for. I've definitely been interested in wanting to watch.
I will say real quick that the Dark Knight Returns animated movie is probably my gold standard for a way to do a fight between Batman and Superman. Like that whole scene when he and Superman are going at it. Batman versus Superman, the movie wishes it could have been as epic and cool as this, where like Batman's just using all these different devices on Superman just to see what'll work on him.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing is stopping him. And it's such a cool scene.
Yeah. When they announced Batman versus Superman, I thought they were going to do the animated movie.
Yeah.
Just make it live action. And then they didn't. And I was like, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And so we got Jesse Eisenberg as fucking Lex Luthor, but
just a plot that made no sense.
Yeah. Let's get into some of your favorites, guys. Matt, you have all 15 of these now, so I'm assuming there's been one or two that are more your favorites than others.
Yeah. So, as I said, they're all good in their own way, but I did enjoy Justice League Dark, which introduced Darkseid and kind of showed him. Well, actually, that's a lie. Justice League War did. But I did like Justice League Dark because that introduced probably my favorite character in these movies, and that's the John Constantine animated version, who is voiced by Matt Ryan, I believe.
Who plays the live action version.
Yes, who played the live action John Constantine. And I will say really quick that I'm not kind of delving into the voice actors that I thought were really great, but these movies had a lot of star power in them and like the voice cast would change constantly throughout and it wasn't consistent, but I'll just give you a quick list of some of the voice actors that have been this. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern, Rosario Dawson as Wonder Woman, John Bernthal as Trigon, Rainn Wilson as Lex Luthor, Rebecca Romaine as Lois Lane, Carrie Hughes as Aquaman, and Michael B. Jordan as Cyborg. That's just some of them.
Yeah.
There are more.
And that's just people that literally did like one film.
Yeah, some of them did one film, but some of them did more. Like Rosario Dawson did Wonder Woman in like several of these movies.
Nice.
Yeah, so but yeah, going back to the movies themselves, I would recommend Justice League Dark. Even though he was a whiny brat at first, I did like Son of Batman and Batman versus Robin. So yeah, I'd recommend almost any one of these, but those are some of the ones that really stand out for me.
How about you, Brittany?
I listed 6 different films that I just think are probably the first few I would recommend to somebody just to watch, whether it's for their story or just for their animation. Obviously, my top tier is Batman Under the Red Hood. Immediately when anybody asks about DC animated films, I'm like, just watch Under the Red Hood. That's everything you need to know. Still surprised they haven't pulled off a live action film of it, but they probably never will. And it's just an incredible story. Like the Joker brutally kills Jason Todd. which is the second Robin.
Yeah.
And Batman's dealing with his biggest loss and failure in his eyes that he sees. And then 5 years later, this dude called Red Hood starts taking over like the drug trade industry in Gotham and like stopping crime by controlling crime. So Batman's like, you're a vigilante, so I should respect you, but I don't because you suck. And then they fight and then stuff ensues. But please check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really good.
It's so good. That's like my favorite one, man. Oh, my heart. Batman Hush, another great one where it's literally a villain named Hush that he doesn't know about. It's like kind of stalking him, basically trying to sabotage him and kill him using all his other villains. That one's got a really cool twist as well. Was also, a lot of these are based directly on comics that came out or graphic novels.
Yeah.
So if you want to see good adaptations of them, or at least interesting ones where they might change a little bit, but it works for the film, to check that out. Superman Red Sun is the most recent one I've seen, and it just came out this year. And that's basically a what if Superman landed in Russia and not in America. But it's really cool. Like Wonder Woman's role has changed in it. Although she still tries to help out Superman, you have Batman conflicting with them. Like, it's a really awesome dynamic and had great voice acting as well.
Who are the voice actors in that? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I have them down below. Sorry. Jason Isaacs as Superman.
Ooh, really?
Jason Isaacs has actually played lots of people in different movies. Like he's done Lex Luthor a few times. Superman. So he's Ra's al Ghul also. He's been all around. Vanessa Marshall as Wonder Woman. She's done Wonder Woman in quite a few of the films. And then Travis Willingham as Superior Man, who's basically the US's version of Superman to try and fight him. But he's like chemically made.
Right.
It's not like normal, so they try to fight it out. That one had a really good story, and I enjoyed that. Of course, I have Flashpoint next. That goes without saying. Matt already mentioned it. Justice League Gods and Monsters is another one I really enjoyed. That one's like an alternate universe Justice League, where Superman, instead of being Kal-El, he's literally the son of Zod. And Wonder Woman's different, Batman's different, and they kind of more so like control society because they're like superior beings and they're trying to like protect the people, but in a way that's like very oppressive. So that one's really cool because it deals with the world's perception of them and vice versa. And then finally I have Batman The Dark Knight Returns, just because it's Batman versus Superman, the better version. And it's cool because it's in the 80s and like Reagan's the president still, and like she's just wild. So that's what I have at least.
Speaking of Ronald Reagan, he was in Earth Girls Are Easy. It's true, he was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look at that connection, guys.
Boom.
You can't plan this shit. You can't.
Nope.
Oh man.
But yeah, voice cast has been like incredible. I mean, you always have John DiMaggio doing awesome Jokers. You have Jensen Ackles, or Ackles, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's Ackles.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris is Nightwing, like, and of course you always have D. Bradley Baker and Mark Hamill, stuff like that. Kevin Conroy.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about kind of. I know Matt mentioned them, and then you, Brittany, mentioned a lot of them too. Out of all these names, and a lot of these are big famous names. Which which some of these voice actors who've gone above and beyond in their roles.
So I already mentioned Matt Ryan as John Constantine. Like he pulls off the swagger, the cocky confidence of Constantine of like, yeah, I'll make a deal with the devil and I'll win. And so Matt Ryan definitely gives a nod. I also give a nod to Stuart Allen, his name is, who plays Damian Wayne, who goes from being the whiny, bratty, son of Batman that I just wanted to punch in the face to, by the time he's in the Teen Titans, I was like, I legit care about this Robin now. Like I was rooting for him because he actually grows very well as a person because, obviously he's the grandson of Ra's al Ghul and obviously is the son of Talia and Bruce Wayne. And just his character arc, and I give Stuart Allen a ton of credit for his portrayal. And I also will give a nod to Jerry O'Connell as Superman. I did like the Superman portrayal. The movie with Death of Superman. It's pretty good scenes when he talks to Lois, because one of the things that this movie, that the animated universe did, was it actually, for the first few movies, Wonder Woman and Superman were actually a couple. And basically they break up, they split apart. And then, the whole romance between him and Lois, because for a while I was like, wait, are they not even going to have Lois Lane as a romantic interest? And then they did. And the whole scene when he's talking to her before he dies, where he's like, he kind of writes down the secret and he puts on a paper when he tells her who he is. And like I said, I give Jerry O'Connell like a good deal of credit for that.
I just, before you go, Brittany, I just want to touch on Matt Ryan, because even though I haven't seen Matt Ryan in any of the animated universe films, he is such a good John Constantine. He does a great job as the character on Legends of Tomorrow, and I think he is just like the epitome of the character. Now that anytime I read him in a comic, I'm doing it in a Matt Ryan voice, like in my head. Like they released the DC Black Label 3-part series Batman Damned, and those are narrated by Constantine, and it's just immediately that Matt Ryan voice. So yeah, he's fantastic.
I agree completely. Like he's such a good Constantine, and he does the character so well. Even when I have the current Constantine series that's out with DC right now. It's the same thing. I feel like he's in there.
I will also give one other nod, even though I already mentioned him. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern is just
he's
awesome,
on my list.
Nathan Fillion has always awesome at like pretty much any voice role he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's really good at embodying characters, and especially like heroes, which is why like I really wanted him to be Green Lantern when they were originally making the DC live action film, and then it's probably for the best he wasn't in it. But man, did I was rooting for him. But Nolan North, Nolan North, I think also did Hal Jordan. So like the one thing I like about the DC animated universe, as much as there's specific shows and animated series that they'll keep the same actors in, when they do the movies, sometimes they pick different voice actors to be the type of Superman, the type of Wonder Woman they need in this film.
Right.
So that's cool, because it's not always, as much as it's their sort of arcing universe, they have different, I don't even know what to say, like different continuity, but it makes sense. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it does.
So like,
it totally makes sense.
As much as people would look at Marvel and be like, yeah, I can't think of anybody else who'd play Tony Stark. Like,
well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. It's really funny that you mentioned Tony Stark, because if you go back and like listen, RDJ is Tony Stark. Period. End of story. Like, if people want to think about Tony Stark now, that's who they think of. It's hard to go back and read pre-Avengers, pre-Iron Man movie Marvel comics that are Iron Man focused, because they were written differently with a kind of different tone than RDJ. Whereas once RDJ started playing him in the movies, the comics and the animations kind of like started fitting that more RDJ Tony Stark style. So like going back and reading the original Civil War run, like Tony is very much like more serious and just like verbally, just like, not so many quips and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting parallel. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to switch it to Marvel there for a second.
Oh no, it makes sense. And I was just going to say, there's some voice actors that make the character, or there's some physical actors that make the character, and comics has done that. They changed Nick Fury to match Samuel L. Jackson, like before he was even playing him. An honorable mention, I'd like to mention Princess Bride, Carrie Elwes.
It's Carrie Ells.
Right?
Carrie Ells.
Carrie Ells. Yeah, okay. I probably mispronounced. I said his name earlier, and I think I mispronounced it too.
Yeah, so. Carrie Ells is Aquaman. Like, he's such an interesting Arthur Curry, and like, I don't know, he always makes characters interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He brings his sort of like lightness and spirit to it. So I thought that was an interesting choice, and then he like pulls it off pretty well.
Yeah. Nice.
And then you have like Neil Patrick Harris's Nightwing sometimes, and you're like, okay, this is interesting. I mean, like it.
We also have to give a shout out because we have him on our show, like Kevin Conroy, Batman.
Obviously, he's
yes.
Just couldn't go without
Kevin
saying
Conroy
that.
and Mark Hamill forever.
To close this out, let's talk about briefly what we would like to see come next from the DC animated universe. Where can it go? Storylines that you guys might want to see. We need to get Buy as a sponsor because Brittany's drinking it on air. I love it. The Buy teas.
I'm always
They're
drinking
really
some
good.
sponsored drink.
Yep.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
So I can't say like specific stories I'd like to see, but what I love about the animated universe is that they do interesting stories. So keep on rolling, guys. Like just keep doing whatever you're gonna do, just because out of pretty much all of the DC animated movie universe stuff that I've watched, like there's not one that I was like, I really thought that sucked.
Yeah.
Like they were all like bare minimum, like good, I would say, to probably above average, at least to like excellent. So yeah, I mean, like I can't really say like do something different, do this, because they're doing really good. And I know we've already kind of mentioned like how these people haven't been given the reins to make live action movies and do something with these stories that they've used, which are from the comics. Like pretty much all of these are from comics, I'm sure. You know, I can't name the comics, but so like just keep doing what you're doing, guys. And I'm looking for, because now that I'm aware of these movies fully and have watched a bunch of them, I'm pretty much going to be picking them up as they get released from here on out, just because I really like what they did and what they're continuing to do.
Yeah.
Dude, I agree. It's a great choice. So as much as Apocalypse is like claimed to be their last film, it's kind of just closing the timeline and the arc that started with Flashpoint, like Matt pointed out. So DC animated films, I feel like they're just going to keep going strong with a bunch of different content. Who knows if they're going to line it with the current comics or whether, like, because, you know, New 52 kind of ended.
Yep.
So, like, they were doing that. They were matching, like, their costumes and different storylines.
And there's been great stuff to come out of Rebirth since.
Exactly. So I think maybe this is just their step to start matching Rebirth or to expand more in those areas. But, I mean, no matter what, I'm going to watch their movies. But also, their shows are getting traction as well. I bought the first season of the Harley Quinn show. Watched the animated show. It was amazing. Like, I loved every minute of it. It was wild, zany. I liked how they did Bane. Like, they're interesting twists to the characters, but they're also, like, the truest versions of the characters in a weird way where, like, they poke fun at their own live-action films by quoting it. But also, like, the references between the comics and the films is, like, seamless. Like, it's really well done. Very much not for kids. Super rated R. Whether it's violent or just the fact that they're dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds, and I'm just, like, crying in, like, while sitting on the couch. And they're in their second season now, so like, I literally bought the first season just because I was like, this is amazing, I'm gonna watch it. And yeah, I contemplated even getting the streaming service just so I can see the second season.
Yeah.
So, great.
So I've mentioned it on the show, I think numerous times. Part of the reason I haven't seen a lot of these is I'm very, very picky about animation. Like, Clone Wars and Rebels are very, like, you know, those are things very specific to me. I watch them because they're Star Wars, but, like, other than that, I really pick and choose what kind of animation I'm going to watch. Having said that, if they were...
She-Ra?
Thank you. Having said that, if they were to do a 3-part or just turn it into a movie, I guess they don't do 3 parts with these, an iteration of Batman Last Night on Earth, I would watch the shit out of that, because that is my favorite Batman miniseries in years. Fantastic. Just super, super great. And I know QMX is making a Q-Fig out of that run, so I'm hoping they make an animated movie out of that. I will say that after I'm done with this, Matt, we're going to have to talk, because I'd love a list of all the Batman ones, because I want to go and watch all the Batman ones, because I did like Under the Red Hood. So other than that, yeah, I'll have to watch some more. I think they could do some great stuff with Rebirth. I would love to see some of Tom King's stuff be made into some animated, either series or film. So we want to know what you like about the DC animated universe, or what you would like to see from it. Some of your favorite voice actors. Drop us a Facebook message, Instagram message. You can email us at permittedpod@gmail.com. We're everywhere. Shoot us a line. We'd love to hear from you. We might even give you a shout out on the show. So, Matt, thank you for coming up with this idea. Brittany, thank you for contributing and helping run this one, because I was not so well versed in the DCAU. So
That's okay. You're a newbie. You'll get there.
I am. I'm a
we can
noob.
get you spun up.
And to be fair, you've probably seen other DC animated things that
Oh,
just aren't
100%.
part of this
Yes.
quote,
Yep.
like, confined universe.
Yep.
Like Batman Beyond, anything involving that, Return of the Joker, like.
I mean, I haven't seen Batman Beyond, but
That's right. You know nothing of Terry McGinnis. Fuck.
yeah, no, Batman the animated series I could talk about for hours, but
Yeah,
not
but that's what I
Batman
mean.
Beyond.
You've
Yeah.
seen other stuff.
Yeah.
You're okay for now.
Well, this was certainly a fun episode. We will be back next week. Next week, we're going to get serious. we've kind of avoided talking about COVID and its impact on the planet, but part of what we love talking about is film, and part of what we as a trio love to do when we're actually allowed to go places is go see movies together. And we are going to be tackling, movie theaters next week, and if they're done, if movies are going to be strictly just this on-demand model is now kind of going to be the future, and do a deep dive into that. We'll also have a bunch of other stuff as always, so you have that to look forward to. So for Matt, for Brittany, I'm Julian. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Migliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.